Hello, welcome back to Blender Soci Live Noding. Today I will be doing an improvisation using geometry nodes and the default cube. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm using Blender 2.93 and the latest version. And I'm selecting default cube and go to geometry nodes. I'll be doing some grouping trick and also some little trick that you can do with geometry nodes where you can turn instance into real objects. So this is a default cube and I want to transform this guy and transform it in the z-axis and also make it smaller. Maybe I should do it like this. So I'm scaling it just a little bit. So I have this guy and I want to turn this into a group. So F3 while selecting and then make group. So now we have these little node groups that we can use many times. Okay, so the idea is that we can also make it smaller while we bring in the previous geometry. So this is the original geometry and we plug in the smaller one and this is as the output. And I want to do it again and again and again and again. Okay, so that's a new trick, kind of like a recursive, not really quite recursive, but this is group and make real. We can actually reuse this. What's interesting is that you can run the playback, and while it's running, while you're inside it, you can still tweak. You can still tweak this. So I'm actually kind of curious whether we can change the order. And whether this can still work. Okay, I need to make a cut. So make smaller and then bring it up. So that will work as well. Anyway, so this is one object, right? So let's create another default cube. This time I will do mass subdivide, so it's become a sphere-like object, and I want to scatter distribute some point and also point instance, and I will be using this guy. So now we have this. It seems to understand the normal. Let's do a transform here. Let's do the scaling. Okay, yeah. That's itself is kind of interesting. Let's I hide the original cube, and now I have this, and I want to randomize the scale. So point random attribute randomize. And I'm trying to randomize the scale. Hopefully this works. Now we have a bunch of random objects scattered. And we can actually bring in the original object. Original cube that has been subdivided. Cool. Now we have this. We actually can also use pause on this. Pause on this and increase the density. So yeah, this is nice. The neat thing about the latest Blender 2.93 is that you can use also remesh. You can basically use modifier, and if you use anything here, it becomes a real object. including like if you are using like a simple deform and simply zero it out, this guy is becoming a real object. You can use it in sphere job or something, but I like to use this with remesh every now and then, because you can also smooth it. Okay, now we have something that's quite interesting. Okay, we can play around with this. And you can still go back to the original cube and make changes. And everything will update accordingly. So it's quite an interesting setup using just the default cube and this combo chain link of node group. So that's pretty much what I want to show you today. With this version of Blender, we cannot install sphere job, however, maybe we need to wait a little bit more. But this thing is very cool. You can perhaps even do like things like randomized rotations, or yeah, let's see, point, rotate. So you can rotate based on the vector, or you see how it's reacting to it. Maybe we can just duplicate this rotation, replace with a vector. Maybe this just a little bit of rotations for each one of them. Okay, we don't have the normal of this, so maybe add. Yeah, okay, this is adding a little bit of rotations to each one of the original object. Okay, so scale, rotations, we don't need to mess around with the position. We can just increase the density, maybe. So maybe instead of using Poisson, just go back to random. And it's probably generating too many objects. But you got the drill, so that's geometry nodes and just the default cube and just something quick that you can create with it. Alright, so thanks again for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.